Okay, we will call this committee of the whole meeting to order, July 24th. I'd like to acknowledge that we are holding this meeting on the unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq. Record of attendance, a motion for, did he let you know, Lindsay? So a motion for Councillor Lesser. Okay, moved, seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Any declarations of conflict of interest? You can certainly declare at the time of the agenda item. Anything up front? Oh, okay. Approval of agenda. Any additions or deletions? I'm going to add committees. 11A. Okay, anything else that anyone wants to talk about? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. No presentations. Okay, staff reports. So the first report is the CAO report. Is there any questions? Are there any questions for the CAO? Anything you want to share? Over and above what you've been doing, because you've just been so busy.
I guess I would remind council we have a draft of the We have a draft of the Parks, Recreation and Culture Master Plan. Please have a look at that and send any comments if you like. We'll need to finalize that report in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll have some discussions about implementation. We do have to have a conversation, perhaps in the form of a workshop, about the Sweeney Museum report and how we're going to deal with that now that we have it. And Your Worship, those are things that are, when it comes to council, things that I'm thinking about looking forward.
Okay, so we have a date set, July 30th. That's next Wednesday. It's next Wednesday. So is everyone able to come to that one? Did you?
It's in the morning. I'm in the middle of work. I just came, unfortunately.
Okay. So you can send, just if you have anything to send, because that's just us, and then that goes to them. Yeah,
Yeah, that is.
go ahead.
I just want a clarification that July 30th meeting is a meeting for council.
Yes.
To, as a council, throw back and forth ideas about what they see coming from, good.
That report.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it'll be important just to make sure your thoughts count, Weed, if you have a minute. Yeah, if you have a minute. I know you have thoughts, just didn't know if how much time you have to do that. Okay, so nothing for the CAO? Okay, fire department and the chief's here. Anything for the fire department? Chief, anything to share? You good? Okay, no fires there. Operational services, Chad's here with paperwork. You got paperwork that you want to share?
Just my report.
Okay. Any questions for Chad? See what happens when those reports are just... Yeah. Yeah, we love our transit. Okay, planning and economic development, and Natalie's here. Anything on that one? Anyone? Go ahead, Councillor Hatfield.
Thank you, Your Worship. So I'm not sure if this is something that I should be directing to Natalie or to Mike or to everybody. I'm just looking for clarification with regards to how we manage vacant buildings and at what point they become considered hazardous. I'm speaking in this instance specifically to property on Tucker Street. I think it's 64 Tucker. I've mentioned it before. It's been an issue since I first ran for council, and I am aware now from getting feedback from residents in the area that it is open in the back and pigeons and other animals are entering the building. And I'm just wondering at what point does that become something that is enforceable by the town? And I'm not looking for anything to be done, but I just want to be able to talk knowledgeably to the residents that are concerned about this when they bring it to my attention, because it is open to the environment in the back. It's not in the front, but if you look from Southeast Street, it's open in the back. And I don't know whether the only thing that matters is whether it's whether human habitation is not a possibility, so it's boarded up, but or whether we're concerned that things like pigeons can be going in there and roosting. And we've had an issue like that before in our past, and we all know how that was handled. So I just want direction, so when people come to me, that I can give them an explanation.
Thank you, Councillor Hatfield. So definitely, if you ever encounter a building where you can identify that a window's broken, windows open, anything, a door, anything where the building is not secured, please have them contact our office. So generally, the fire inspector does his little rounds, and if he sees something, he might address it or inspect it further, or he might refer it to our department, one of the building inspectors, to go and do an inspection. So number one is we'll go out there, 3:37, I'll send a message for someone to go out there this afternoon to take a look at it and see. Vacant, so I think it's the definition for vacant is that there's no water service and there's no hydro, so hydro will disconnect. And then we deem that vacant, and then we have a process of how we handle that. So number one is we'll go and investigate this afternoon, and I can report back to you what we found. Is that okay?
Good. Any more questions for Natalie? Okay. Engineering. DeMario's here. Any questions there? Okay. And directors, if there's anything you need to share that's above and beyond, then by all means. Finance. Jerry's here. How are we doing, Jer? No questions? Okay. And recreation. Frank's here. Any questions? Pumped to see Canada Day happen again in that location. It was awesome. I couldn't believe it because it was busy on the waterfront. And I said, well, I think I'll sneak over to the park just to see if there's people here too, and it was wild. It really did, yeah. And the lines were long, and they didn't mind waiting, which means they know they're going to have fun, because they wouldn't wait if they didn't. So that was really good, yeah. Okay, all right, business. So commendation, do you want to take that, Councillor Bell?
Oh, sure. Thank you, Your Worship. This is a motion on behalf of the town of Yarmouth to extend heartfelt congratulations to Tina Comeau, Surrett, on the occasion of her induction into the Atlantic Journalism Awards Hall of Fame and her consecutive sweep of 3 gold awards at the 2025 Atlantic Journalism Awards. For 35 years, Tina has reported with honesty, empathy, and fierce dedication to her community. Her powerful storytelling has shaped public understanding, and her courage in sharing personal loss has given strength to others. We also recognize international acclaim for the documentary Justin's Addiction Story, No Family is Immune, which was a collaboration with her son Jacob. It recently won Best International Short Documentary at the Jersey Shore Film Festival in New Jersey. Tina Camo Surratt has served not only as a journalist, but as a voice for the people of this region. And we're proud to recognize her as a worthy successor to Alexander Lawson and the many other local journalists who have told this community's stories since his publication of the first edition of the Yarmouth Herald in 1833. That's an unbroken heritage of telling the community what it needed to know. And for that, we thank Tina. And I would make that a motion.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded.
Here we all.
What's that? We can all second that. And we'll invite her to the council meeting. We can do a certificate. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Okay, 9B, feeding wild animals best practice. So we go into the draft. Okay, did you want to speak to that, or are you good? We're just looking to okay this draft, I assume.
Yeah, so the bylaw that you have in draft has the amendment related to permission for bird feeders on private property, that perhaps the installer of the bird feeder might not own that property. There are no amendments related to the attached report, which has to do with best practices for feeding ducks. The report itself is, well, it stands for, it's pretty clear, I think, that best practices are not to feed ducks. But, and so no amendments were proposed with the bylaw, but it's complete and for council's consideration.
Okay, you're on. I don't know how, oh, wait a minute, are you on?
My thing is.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
I always think green should mean talk as opposed to red.
no, that's why I get mixed up still.
Anyway, thank you for the solid work, and I know I've been hard to get along with this thing, trying to get it right, and I think it's right. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay. Oh, you're on now.
Thank you.
It's like press.
Just simply, number one is to congratulate or to thank the bylaw enforcement officer for the very detailed report that he provided, and obviously left no room for argument. And as you know, I had some reservations at first, but they've been dealt with, and I agree with Councillor Cleveland, and it's time to move ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is another example of what the CAO was saying about the staff reports and the value they bring to the decision-making, because we know what we know and we feel what we feel, but when the facts come out. Okay, so anyone else want to comment on this one? Okay, all those in favor? Contrary? Motion carried. Affordable housing grant policy. So we're just looking to recommend that council adopt the affordable housing grant policy as presented. If there's any questions, we can certainly speak to it.
Your worship.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is one of our Housing Accelerator Fund initiatives, and the policy, the planning and development staff have been working hard on pulling this policy together in order to meet our timelines for the Accelerator Fund. This policy may be tinkered with ahead of the council meeting, because it was tinkered with already earlier today. And so, we're trying to get it as right as we can. So the statutory requirement is that you have a policy before you 7 days ahead of the day that you're asked to consider it. And so we will ensure that 7 days ahead of the council meeting, we'll stop tinkering. But you don't necessarily have to recommend from committee of the whole. This is in case you've read it and you have any, no, I expect you read it, but in case you had any questions or concerns at this point, it's not likely that staff would make significant changes. The kinds of changes that were made today are kind of housekeeping, small editing, cleanup. So, but if you do have comment, direction, certainly we're all ears.
Anything there, folks? I mean, it makes sense. I did ask the CAO, why are we doing a policy? But I figured it was one of those steps. Okay, so have I got a mover and a seconder? Okay, Deputy, Councillor Dares, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, so we've got correspondence, the Fire Safety Regulations 2025. It's all there for information. Chief, if you want to speak to it, but we've got it there for information. Okay. The municipal profile and financial condition indicators report. So I'm going to introduce, if you haven't, I think most of you have met her before, but Andrea Jeffs is our municipal advisor. Huh? Get a married name or unmarried name? Andrea Hislop. I've always called you Andrea Jeffs. Okay, right? Andrea Jeffs Hislop is here. So she's our municipal advisor. So if you had questions outside of myself and Jeff, if you had concerns, you can always call Andrea. She works for the province in municipal affairs. And we talk a lot. We talk a lot. I just kind of whispered in her ears, we have the municipal, the financial condition indicators there. They're there for information. If anybody has any questions, she's willing to answer those. We were just chatting earlier. It's really, I'll send this letter to the province because it's not your fault. Why do we have places where it says you've put this report in late, but we have a report here that's 3 years. That's not you. I'm just going to send a note off and say, don't hold us to a date if you're going to be 3 years sending us the information. So yeah, we just thought it was kind of funny. No questions there? Is there anything you want to share? You good? You good? Okay. All right, there's the library request, and to recommend the council send a letter to the province. Is this, this isn't a motion. This is just correspondence, and we have sent it, and it is on NSFN has done that. What's that? It looks like a motion there.
So it is what they requested.
Okay.
So there was an action that was requested. You're not compelled to deal with that motion if you choose not to. It's very similar to a motion that we recently dealt with at this table. The motion that we previously dealt with was to send correspondence to NSFM.
Yeah.
What they're requesting is correspondence to the province.
Yeah. And so I'm looking to you, Councillor Hatfield, because I feel like it's the same thing, and NSFM is taking care of this because we've already received a number of them. So NSFM will speak on behalf of the municipalities, which is sort of this. What are your thoughts? Do you want to do it or?
Thank you, Your Worship. I think that perhaps the brief that was presented as a draft motion could be amended to identify the fact that the NSFM has taken on library funding as a matter of provincial interest, and that we are adding our voice to that provincial initiative to get this situation resolved. So I would make that a motion with amendment. So I would send a letter to the minister indicating urging him to deal with the library funding issue, as it is a matter of great importance across the province, including in our community.
Okay.
And we are in danger of losing critical support if the funding is not dealt with. So, and just add an amendment with regards to the NSFM.
Okay, so I sent the NSFM one's gone out,
Yeah,
yeah, and then we'll just, okay,
Yeah.
so there's the motion. It was a long one,
sorry.
but you covered everything. And the deputy's gonna repeat it. Oh, Lindsay, you wanna repeat that? Yep,
Yeah. So basically, the motion is there.
yes,
It's to recommend that council send a letter to the province requesting them to review and finalize the recommendations for sustainable library funding by November of 2025 in recognition of the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities, a recognition of this as a matter of provincial interest.
perfect. Should have been a writer for a newspaper or something. Okay, moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Okay, one addition. So committees, it's not a decision, it's just, we were talking about committee work and that's council work, basically. So I did send out a letter to all my mayors across the province, and I want to say, I have to look again, but I want to say all of them, all the ones that responded said basically the same thing. So the committees, the list of committees goes to the mayor. I'll sit down and have a chat with everybody. Where do you want to be? Which committees do you want to be on? What's important to you? What can you give your time to? And then give them out, I want to say more evenly, given the fact that we can change the times and things like that, like to accommodate people that can't make it on at certain times. So I'm just giving you the heads up that that's what we'll do. We'll probably do it in September to start a new whatever year. And just be thinking about what's most important to you. And we'll try to get your number one and number two, but we will go through all of the, what we would say is a 4, then go down to the 3s, the 2s, and the 1s, so that everybody has relatively within a certain amount, so that we're distributing the work more evenly than it is now, and making sure that we can change those times if we have to change them. Okay, so we'll do that, but I'll talk to each of you individually to see where you are. Just want to give you a heads up so you got time to think about what's most important. Okay, and do we have in camera? What's that? Oh, I can't see, I can't even see that. Go ahead.
Sorry, Your Worship. Yeah, with regards to committee work, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've also been thinking about capacity building and succession planning, and I think that the reality is that we're all here for a limited period of time, and it's going to be staggered, and some of us will be going on to a new council, some of us won't. The reality is that the work of council has to continue regardless of who is doing the work, and it's not only about what are the things that you're most interested in, but it's also about making sure that you have an understanding of all of the different ways in which the committees and the agencies and the corporations interact with one another to create an administrative unit that runs everything in this community. And I think it's really important that someone take a hand in that with the view to capacity building for all of council and to succession planning. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for saying that. So the succession planning's on my list, and if I put let's just plain English, put it out there on the table. I would say, and this is not me, this is a guess. I'm going to say probably over half of this council might not be here the next election. And if that happens, whoever is left really needs to have not a full understanding, but an understanding, basic understanding of how everything works. So we'll figure it out this way. We just used to do committees. People would go on a committee and just stay there because, you know, I enjoy that, or, you know, and you add a lot to it and things like that. I don't have to tell you how much work's in Mariner Center, right? Like it's a lot of work, and the ones that, you know, there's other committees that there's a ton of work, and it's hard to get invested in something and then leave it because the next person doesn't know. So somehow we're going to have to, and I'll figure that out, but we need to be able to say, I'm going to pick on the deputy mayor. So if the deputy mayor leaves a committee, we'll say, Mariner Center, you leave that. You want to know that the person taking over, you've had a chance to talk to them. They've sat at the table. They've asked you questions. You know, the same with the waste park, the same with the library. You know, it doesn't matter what we're, YASTA, you know, whatever we're on, that's fair, not just to us and the people coming after us, but it's fair to the public. Like, this is, the committees is the work of council, and we need to do that work, but we have to have an understanding. So I think it'll be, and it's eye-opening, like, to sit there, especially through stuff you're saying, who put me on this committee? Because it's not fun, then you learn it is. So yeah, so we'll do that, and I'll do some more work around, you know, how we can manage that with, you know, talking to everybody and seeing where everyone is, and make sure we get it right for the next time, which is, it feels like forever away, and then it seems like it's 30 seconds away. Scary, goes fast. Okay, so do we have in camera?
Very briefly.
Okay, all right. Do you want to stay here or go in there?
Let's go in there for
Yeah.
2 minutes.
What's that?
Yeah,
Oh.
water utility.
Okay. Do you want me to,
We'll do in camera.
okay, so Wade, do you want to come here? Are you good there? What do you want to do?
Are we doing that first?
We'll do the water,
Okay, well, then I can do it right from here.
okay? Do I need to adjourn or anything?
Yeah, Mike.
Okay, so motion to adjourn. Thank you. All those in favor?